How are you?
Oh, good. How you going?
I'm well, thank you.
Awesome. Today we have the pleasure of speaking to Denigh's manager, Carl Penfold. So, hi, Carl. Nice to meet you.
Hello, Paul. Very nice to meet you too.
Yeah, we've never met before, so this is educational for both of us, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Um, for those of you who don't know you, including me, um, tell us a little bit about Carl Penfold. How did you get involved
Okay.
with the band? And
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm a retired civil servant and I took early retirement. Um, After the civil service, I did a part-time cleaning job at a local school, which
right,
I've also now finished. And it's only been a couple of weeks actually since I'm a free agent again. Um, I'm a music lover. I love all types of music, all genres. I suppose rock music is the one that keeps drawing me back time and time again.
yep,
And I met John through work. Um, I can't remember the exact date, but would have been probably the first time in the late 80s. But then we actually started working together on a team in the civil service in the early 90s, I guess, and became friends and remained friends. And it was John who introduced me to Ian, and I started out by being their social media person, doing Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, because they didn't really do that. And these days, all bands need some sort of presence on social media to put clips of live shows that when I've been there. I knew of Denigh in the early days, but I'd never actually seen them in the old days. Obviously, I
no.
know their music now,
Mhm.
their back catalogue, but it was the social media side that they needed help with, so we started doing that for them.
Awesome. So how long have you been involved with the band now?
A couple of years now.
Right.
It was when Ian and John were still in the process of writing and recording for Back in the Game, and they also invited me to do some vocals, spoken vocals on a couple of the songs, Black Sheep
Hmm.
and Red River War,
Mm.
which I jumped at the chance at. I really wanted to do that.
Awesome.
A bit nerve wracking standing there in front of the microphone, trying to get it how they wanted it,
Yeah.
and took several goes at getting the recording right. And then it was over to Ian on the production side to fine tune it, I suppose. But I
Yeah.
think it worked well in the end, and
Yeah.
it was a learning process for me. I'd never done anything like that before. I'm not a musician. I'm not a recording artist, of course, and
Mhm.
um, all brand new stuff. But it's been so much fun to do.
It does add a different complexion to certainly to Black Sheep. It really adds to telling the story, I think, and Red River War as well. It kind of rounds off the story, if you like. It's
Yeah, I think it
very
does. Yeah.
different. Yeah, yeah. And your performance was great. If it's your first time,
Uh,
that's amazing.
yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. So,
I like both those songs, not because I'm in them, but because they're great songs.
yeah,
A Black Sheep telling, um, that bit about life on the streets and rough sleeping and how hard it
yeah,
is and how people perceive those people
yeah.
who are often in those situations through no fault of their own.
Hmm.
And then society sort of keeps them at arm's length. And it's so wrong. We have
Yes,
to do something about it. It's a situation that's rising again, certainly in the UK.
yes,
Um, rough sleeping and people being homeless. And we all need to stand up and help these people get back on their feet and find a better life for them.
yes, yeah.
So that's
Compassion
why
certainly a
Black
first.
Sheep is such an important song, I think.
Yeah,
And then Red River War, well, it's one of those historical tales which quite um, completely different to a song like Black Sheep, but nevertheless one that fascinates me about Native American history and what went on back in the 1800s, and just
Yeah.
an amazing story. And
Yeah.
it's a true story, as
Yes.
are other songs on the album, like Bevin Boys,
Yes.
totally true tale of uh, the 18-year-olds who were conscripted to go and fight for their country, they thought, but ended up being posted to the mines
Yeah.
to help the coal mining effort,
Yeah.
something that they weren't expecting to do. And it was John Stadt who was one of those Bevin boys. Quite an amazing story, and that's what is being told in that song on the album.
Yes.
I remember it began around January 2021 when Ian, via video call, said he had an idea for a new song about the Bevin Boys. And who are they? Well, some of the young men called to service during World War II were randomly selected to work in the coal mines to boost production. This was an initiative of Labour Minister Ernest Bevin, and these 18-year-olds became known as Bevin Boys. When I told Ian that my dad was a Bevin boy at Easington Pit in County Durham, he couldn't believe it. And you can imagine, as a teenager from South East London, this posting wasn't exactly what my dad expected. So in writing this song, we've imagined what it must have been like for these guys. The frustration and the fears, the hopes and the reality. What you're going to hear is a tub-thumping, strange but true story. And yet, the factual lyric is based on my dad's service at Easington. Our first single release is a tribute to all of Bevin's boys, their courage, their spirit and their camaraderie. They will be brothers till the end of time, and we have the highest respect for them.
Raising awareness for this sort of subject is an important aspect of anyone has any sort of audience these days, I think. There's so much, I suppose, comprehension or understanding or appreciation of another person's situation is an important first step. Yeah, and raising awareness is a good thing.
We hope we can raise awareness with that song and video. It's been viewed quite a lot on YouTube. High figures for us as a band. We're only a small band, of course, because it's an important subject to us and well, to everyone. Everyone should be concerned about the situation.
Yes, yeah. Well, certainly Black Sheep is as pertinent today as ever. I think the homelessness, rising homelessness problem is a global epidemic happening, and it's mostly hidden. Yeah.
Yeah, or people just turn the other way. They don't want to know about it, which is wrong.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit more about your role in the band. John talks a lot about the freedom that you give them to focus on their material. So what's the role of a manager and what sorts of things are you taking away from them in terms of the burden that you're taking away from them?
Well, I suppose it's just simply dealing with other stuff that's not music related. Let them get on with the writing and recording and production. They don't need to be distracted with other stuff. And the other stuff, I mean, like the social media and dealing with calls, emails from the public, from companies. They need somebody to front that for them. So that's what I do. And I suppose that's what John means when he says I relieve some of the burden on them so that they're free to get on with what they need to be doing. And it's music is the first and foremost with Denigh. I think it always was, and it always will be.
Yes.
So, as I said earlier about social media, all bands need to have some sort of presence on the web, online, so that they can get their songs out there and noticed. So that's my role, to help push Denigh into the, not so much the eyes, but the ears.
Yes.
Listeners.
Yeah. And I think you take care of a lot of the contractual stuff as well. Is that right?
Yeah, only so far. And there's we've had a collaboration with ONR label, which for those that don't know, it's obscure new wave of British heavy metal releases. ONR, based in Greece. They've done this with a lot of 80s British new wave of British heavy metal bands, re-releasing some of their demos and older stuff. And we've had one collaboration with them for the Denigh self-titled CD, which was well received and sold out around the world, principally America, Germany, Netherlands, Japan. And we were so pleased with how it worked out that we're going to do a further collaboration with ONR, which John has talked about previously when we chatted with him. And that's for Fire from the Sky, which this year, it's its 40th anniversary. So I think
wow, is it?
Yeah, 40 years ago. Incredible, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So that is the current collaboration with ONR, and the CD will be released probably in the second half of this year.
Great.
It's this year.
Yes. Wow. Okay. And so ONR principally will be looking after all the back catalogue, do you think? Is that how it's likely to pan out if there are any other releases as opposed to...
Probably. We've been really pleased with George and Anton at ONR, how they've dealt with us, how they've produced the physical product, and they act as wholesalers themselves, send it around the globe to retailers, specialist music shops, and it just seems to work so well because although John and Ian are proud and love all the previous Denigh back catalogue, that was Denigh then.
Yes.
Denigh now is probably quite a different animal insofar as they're not a new wave of British heavy metal band anymore.
No.
Probably wouldn't call them a heavy metal band at all now, I don't think.
No.
Rock, hard rock, yeah. I think certainly some of the songs definitely fall into that category. And what I was going to say is that they're not, they don't want to be restricted by any sort of labeling or trying to be slotted into a genre. They just love making music, and they make songs across a wide range of different styles and using different instruments and techniques and singing style, and that's the new Denigh.
Yes, yeah. Useful to have a different channel or a different producer for the older material. That way, if people are interested in that, then it's available in one catalogue. But the newer stuff,
if there's any further stuff that of old Denigh music, then I should think we'll be looking to collaborate further with ONR.
Yeah,
which we'll see how Fire from the Sky is received. I mean, I'm pretty sure it'll be popular because it was when it was first released, and then there was a reissue with Iron Pages, and I'm sure that this one will also be well received because there's several generations now who haven't heard this music before, I suspect, and I think they will like it.
Yeah, rock's kind of a universal, isn't it? I mean, you wouldn't call Black Sabbath metal anymore, but they are generally heralded as the godfathers of heavy metal, but they barely pass as rock these days. So talking about the new music, where do you see this heading? I had a chat with Ian last week and said to him how could he see it going, and he said, well, we'll just keep producing until it's not fun anymore or one of us keel over.
I think that's the key. Fun. All the while Ian and John enjoy writing together, recording together, releasing music together, they will carry on. I don't see any reason why they should stop. I mean, age is not really a factor.
No.
Because, they're still relatively young. I'm the baby of the band at 60 or nearly 60. But age is just it's just a number, isn't it? It doesn't
Yeah,
mean
that's right.
anything. If
Yeah.
you can still, you know, like John, he's still got a great voice, perhaps even better than it was when he was a younger man.
Yes.
He certainly has the power and delivery for rock music and other styles of music. I mean, they're both multi-instrumentalists, and Ian does all the production, which I'm just gobsmacked with how talented these two are.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't tell them I said that.
No. And okay. Well, we'll keep it between ourselves.
I have told them. I have told them. Because they are.
Yes.
No
Yeah.
denying it. No
Yeah. Yeah. That's the name.
denying.
Yeah. Yeah. I've said to John a number of times that I think his voice is as good, if not better, than it was back in the 80s. Yeah, you can't underestimate. You know, a lot of the lyrics are written by John. And of course, Ian's got a huge back catalogue as well. So, so when you bring those
I
two,
don't think there's any shortage of material for them
no,
to play around with and develop stuff further.
yeah,
And they still come up with new songs, entirely new songs together.
yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah,
Carry
yeah,
on.
yes,
Yeah.
indeed, until you keel over. Yeah. For those who are watching this, how do they get their hands on Denigh merchandise and CDs and stuff?
Very good question. Yeah. Well, obviously we do stream via all the major music platforms. My personal favorite is YouTube Music. That's where we seem to get most of our streams, and thanks YouTube. I would say that people have got two choices. They can either go to our eBay shop, which is Drawn Horse, or one word. If you search for Drawn Horse, it should come up on eBay, where we've got our CDs. People can also, if they don't use eBay, they could, if they've got PayPal, they can send PayPal payments to denigh.uk@gmail.com, place an order that way for the CDs. The ONR re-release, that's £15. Back in the Game is £12.50, and this is postage included. Or you can purchase the two for £23, a mere £23 for both of those. Great value.
Yeah, great value. Indeed. Personally, I use Spotify. So the Back in the Game's up on Spotify as well. So if people have got that account, and they can access the music through that.
Yeah, absolutely. Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Tidal, all around the world, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
On merchandise, we don't sell other merchandise, but we have produced graphics that people can download from our Linktree account. It's just a summation of all our different platforms that we're on. But on their Linktree, Denigh, we've got a little section where people can download graphics to put on their T-shirts and mugs. And like this, I've got an example here. You may have seen them on the Facebook before.
Yes.
But the graphics can fit on these, and you can enlarge them, make them smaller on T-shirts. If you go to a decent print shop, they'll sort you out.
Yeah.
All you need to do is download it from us for free, or email us, and we'll email the files back for you to put on a USB stick or SD card and take to your printer. They're free, but we don't actually sell any T-shirts. I don't think, certainly not at the moment. We don't want to get into that type of merchandising. It's moving us away from music.
Yes, yeah.
Music is what it's all about.
Yeah.
But now and again we come up with things. I think John's brother has come up with some sticky labels, with Denigh, that same logo, and fridge magnets, which you might have seen before, that we had them out last year. Now, we're not selling them, but we do give them away to people. And I'm sure at some point in the not too distant future, we shall have some giveaways, probably with printed up T-shirt, a mug, stickers, and fridge magnets as a prize. We'll have to think about how we're going to do that. But yeah, I'm sure that'll be in the not too distant future.
So watch out on the channels for that. So just to, you said Linktree. is available, and there shows all of the different links for the different channels available. But which ones are Denigh on? I know there's well, obviously YouTube because you're
on
here.
Facebook and
Facebook.
X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, obviously. We've got what else? Instagram. We are on Instagram.
Yeah.
We've got our own website, which is really John's baby.
Some fantastic
There
old photos on
there. Lots of old photos of Denigh, as well as current stuff, of course.
Yes, of course.
Plus, we've got links to the streaming platforms and our eBay shop as well.
Fabulous.
Yeah, check it out, please, if you haven't already done so.
Yes. If you haven't, go and have a look. It's there's some very interesting stuff on the website for sure. While we're talking about backing the games, what are your favorite tracks? Have you got a favorite track on the album?
I love the whole album. I'm not just saying that because I'm involved with Denigh. I genuinely do. But my favorite one is Back in the Game, the title track. And I think it's just a great rocking number.
Yeah.
But it's one of these ones that's telling a story. It's a story of John and Ian getting back together as Denigh.
Yes.
I just love it. Everything about it.
That's great. What about future releases? Have you are you able to divulge any information about future new music?
Yeah, well, a little bit. I mean, John and Ian have mentioned it already, of course, but the next album, which they're working on right now, and most of it is done and ready to go. Sleep with No Sound, I think, will be the title of the album.
Right.
It's probably going to be bigger and bolder than Back in the Game, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. So Ian was saying he thought it didn't have a title last time, so that's cool.
We probably need to check that it's okay. I think John has mentioned it. Yeah. I think that will be the title.
Right.
John has been working on the artwork for the cover, and that's quite an eye-popping image to behold.
Okay, cool.
And there will also be some older Denigh songs reworked in an album, which I think John's already mentioned as well. But that's to follow, and it's all exciting stuff ahead.
Yep. So Ian was saying perhaps next year. Is that how the schedule's looking from a manager's perspective?
The earliest for the new album will definitely be no sooner than late 2024, I think.
Okay.
Unless circumstances change, which help us speed things along a bit.
Yeah.
But we don't want to sort of promise things and then not be able to deliver. But it is proceeding. It's all going to go ahead.
Yeah.
And people will be in for it. Denigh fans certainly will be in for a treat, I think.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear it. There's some very interesting ideas coming up on it, I think. So
yeah, and what I've heard so far, it's going to be good.
Yeah, sign up for the social medias and get on a channel at least so you know when it's coming, because I presume that there'll be teasers when stuff starts dropping.
Hopefully we'll be able to have a few clips for you to play.
Okay, cool.
During a vlog, and I'm sure we can arrange that.
Awesome. Get some previews.
Or Ian or John or anybody else.
Looking forward to a bit more electric piano, Ian. I really miss the whirly, so always set Denigh apart for me as the electric piano. So you should be able to afford a Fender Rhodes by now.
Yeah, I love it.
Sorry.
Ian on the keys, just brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. Have you got anything you want to ask me?
There is actually. I was going to ask. It's nothing that's going to flummox you.
Okay, good.
Do you miss band life?
Yes, I do miss it, I have to say. When I look back on those days, it was some of the best times of my life. Looking back, I have missed it, which I suppose is why I got my diploma in audio engineering about 15 years ago. when I look back at the things that have been the most meaningful outside of family and the obvious stuff, the music was the thing I missed the most. Yeah, I did miss it, and still do, to a greater or lesser extent, with finding there are fewer and fewer venues that are playing live music. And if you do get a live musician, generally they're playing to a backing track or something like that. So other than going to a huge, great venue with thousands of other people, I miss the intimacy that, a 3 or 4 piece in a small venue brings. So yeah, I do miss it.
I think I know what you mean. When I go and see live shows, I don't like the big stadium type. I mean, you can enjoy it, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But if you've got a decent seat, perhaps you'll enjoy it a bit more. Yeah, but I've been stuck at the back of big venues, and it's a little speck in the distance, the stage. And whilst I have enjoyed them, it's nowhere near as good as going to a smaller venue and maybe making your way right up to the front of the stage. And if your ears can handle it, of course, because it can be mightily deafening sometimes.
Yeah,
but,
I'm still carrying the Denigh legacy in my head. So yeah.
Yeah. But I do like the smaller venues.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Supporting the local independent venues. We've got some great ones here in Kent, and in East Kent. We've got the Booking Hall in Dover.
Yeah.
Quarter House in Folkestone, Ramsgate Music Hall, Olby's in Margate. There's tons of local venues which need people to go and support them, and I do whenever I can. I know money is a consideration for everyone these days, increases the cost of living. But whenever I can, that's why I like to go and see my live music. If it's not down the pub, which, the Louis Armstrong in Dover, which you may remember. I like seeing bands down there. I haven't been for a while, but I intend to now I've finished working.
Well, thanks for that, Christian.
I was just going to ask, going back to the old days with Denigh, what did you enjoy most with your involvement in Denigh? Is there anything that
a good mix? A good mix and guitars at a reasonable level. That was always a good night. I love the way John interacted with the crowd. He's a super front man live. I used to get the wobbles when he did Struck Down, because he used to take his bass off and grab the mic and go out into the crowd and, have his mic pointing at the PA. So, we used to always play Christmas and New Year and public holidays and stuff like that. And they were always a really good night, regardless. New Year in particular was a fabulous night, because we used to go until sort of 1 a.m. Party night. It was really, really cool. And of course, sound engineer, you're right in the crowd. So that was always, that was fun. They're in the thick of it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They were some of my favorite moments. Yeah, good times. Good times.
Yeah, it's been good fun.
Yeah, we'll do it again, Carl.
Thanks a lot, Paul.
Brilliant. Thanks, Carl. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.